It's a Sunday morning in June 2023, somewhere deep in the North Atlantic, nearly 400 miles off the coast of Newfoundland. A small carbon fiber submersible begins its slow descent into the freezing blackness, with its destination being the most famous shipwreck in the world, which happened to be the Titanic. Inside the vessel are 5 men, and these 5 persons includes billionaires, adventurers, and explorers, all sealed in a cylinder no bigger than a minivan. There are no seats, no escape hatch, no beacon once submerged, and their only connection to the surface is a single text message link. As the Titan descends deeper into the abyss, contact with the mothership suddenly stops. No signal, no response, just nothing. Panic sets in the mothership on the surface. An international search effort explodes into action. Planes, ships, sonar, satellites, all scouring a patch of ocean the size of Connecticut.
We hope for the
The
best
world
outcome,
watches,
but it was really
breathless,
tragic to hear.
counting the hours of oxygen left.
You know, deep down we always have a little bit of hope, but yeah, it was really, really sad.
My God, what they're going through. You don't wish that on our family.
The Titan submersible was built to sustain its crew for 96 hours on stored oxygen. And if rescuers failed to reach them in that narrow window, disaster was inevitable. Every headline screams the same thing: missing near Titanic.
Tourist submersible in the North
Begin with the
Atlantic,
hope,
and the
but
race
also
against
dwindling window of opportunity as search crews try to find 5 people on board a submersible that disappeared on its way to the wreck of the Titanic in the Atlantic.
Every second ticks louder than the last. And then, on the 5th day, there's a sound, a debris field, a breakthrough. But it's not the rescue everyone was hoping for, because what they find tells a much darker story. This is the full, chilling account of how the OceanGate Titan disappeared, and the tragic truth behind one of the most haunting modern disasters of our time. For more than 100 years, the wreck of the Titanic has fascinated the world. It lies deep under the North Atlantic Ocean, about 12,500 feet below the surface. Many explorers, scientists, and adventurers have tried to reach it. But going that deep is extremely dangerous. The pressure down there is over 6,000 psi, strong enough to crush metal like paper. Then came OceanGate, a private company started by Stockton Rush, a man who once worked in the world of space travel. Rush had a bold dream: to take rich explorers, scientists, and history lovers down to see the Titanic with their own eyes. To do this, he built a special submersible called the Titan. It was small, meant for only 5 people, and built with a very different kind of design. Rush believed it was safe, but many others disagreed. And before long, this dream would lead to one of the most shocking tragedies of the deep sea. In a quiet testing room, a small black capsule hung from the ceiling. It looked like a short, smooth pill, only about 3 feet long. But this wasn't just any model. It was a small version of a new type of deep-sea submarine called Cyclops II. The man in charge was Stockton Rush, an engineer with a big dream. In 2009, he started OceanGate to take people down to the bottom of the ocean. But in 2013, he decided to build something new, something lighter, something faster, something the world had never seen. This new sub would use carbon fiber instead of heavy metal. It would be longer and fit more people than the usual round-shaped deep-sea subs. By the year 2016, Rush had one main goal: to take paying passengers down to the most famous shipwreck in the world, the Titanic, sitting deep in the cold, dark ocean, nearly 12,500 feet below the surface. It was a bold idea and a risky one. Most deep-sea subs are made with titanium or steel, strong metals that have been tested again and again to survive the crushing pressure of the deep ocean. But the Titan was different. Instead of metal, Stockton Rush chose carbon fiber for the sub's main body. Carbon fiber is light and cheaper than metal. It's often used in airplanes and rockets, but not in deep-sea diving. Because under extreme pressure, carbon fiber can act strangely. It can develop tiny cracks, ones you can't see, but that grow more dangerous with every dive. That wasn't the only risk. OceanGate decided not to get the Titan certified by official safety groups. Rush believed that rules and red tape were slowing down progress. Instead of following standard safety checks, he used a new system: sensors that would listen for sounds of stress inside the hull during the dive. But experts warned that his system was untested, unproven, and unreliable. And if something went wrong down there, it would happen too fast for anyone to escape. As early as the year 2018, people began to speak up. Engineers, former OceanGate staff, and deep-sea experts raised serious concerns. One of them, Rob McCallum, a well-known expedition leader, sent emails to Stockton Rush, warning him that what he was doing was dangerous. He didn't hold back. He said it could end in a catastrophic failure. Instead of using custom-made controls like most subs, OceanGate used off-the-shelf electronics, even a $30 Logitech game controller to steer the sub.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
But despite all the warnings, OceanGate didn't stop. Instead, they kept going, pushing the Titan as more than just a dive. They called it a mission, a bold, brave adventure for those who wanted to explore history. But behind the excitement and the mission talk, the danger was growing, and it was only a matter of time. In 2022, a crew from CBS News joined one of OceanGate's Titanic trips. Led by reporter David Pogue, they filmed a documentary that would shock many people. What they discovered was alarming. The Titan had already lost communication during past dives. Its hatch was bolted shut from the outside, which meant that once inside, no one could get out unless someone opened it for them. Even worse, when asked about safety, Stockton Rush said something that stunned everyone.
At some point, safety just is pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed, don't get in your car, don't do anything. Yeah. At some point, you're going to take some risk, and it really is a risk-reward question. I said, I think I can do this just as safely by breaking the rules.
The documentary made many people start to worry. It was now clear that Titan wasn't just a brave experiment. It was a risky one. And the countdown to disaster was already ticking. June 16th, 2023. It was a quiet morning in the North Atlantic. At exactly 8 a.m., the Titan submersible slipped beneath the waves, leaving behind the deck of its support ship, the MV Polar Prince. Inside were 5 men, all headed deep into the ocean to see the Titanic wreck: Stockton Rush, the OceanGate CEO and pilot of the sub; Hamish Harding, a British billionaire and space tourist; Paul Henry, a French Titanic expert who had visited the wreck many times; Shahzada Dawood, a wealthy businessman; and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman Dawood. The descent was supposed to take about 2 hours. They would go more than 12,000 feet down, into one of the most dangerous places on Earth. But then after 1 hour and 45 minutes into the dive, silence echoes. The Titan stopped sending signals. The team on the ship waited and waited. No one answered. No one returned. Something had gone terribly wrong, as no one knew where the sub was. The Titan was supposed to return after 8 hours, but it didn't. When there was still no sign of the sub, the crew aboard the Polar Prince knew something was wrong. They sent out an emergency call. Very quickly, help began to arrive. The US Coast Guard and Canadian rescue teams launched a massive search mission. They brought everything they had. Airplanes flew over the sea, scanning the waves for signs of the missing sub. Sonar buoys were dropped into the water, listening for any strange sounds from deep below. There were just 96 hours of oxygen left on board the Titan. The clock was ticking. The whole world was watching. Would they find the crew in time? After 5 days of searching, the US Navy deployed a special machine called the Flyaway Deep Ocean Salvage System, built to lift heavy wreckage from deep underwater. Then, search teams discovered a debris field near the Titanic. Among the broken pieces, they found Titan's landing frame and tail cone. The grim truth became clear. The sub had likely imploded under the extreme pressure of the deep sea. At exactly 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the world held its breath as the US Coast Guard stepped up to the microphone.
This morning, an ROV, or remote-operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. I offer my deepest condolences to the families.
Admiral John Margus spoke calmly, but his message cut deep. The mystery was over. The pieces found near the Titanic, twisted metal, a tail cone and the landing frame, told a silent, horrifying story. The pressure of the deep ocean had crushed the sub in an instant. There had been no time to react, no chance to escape. Just silence. 5 lives, gone in a heartbeat. Many believed this tragedy could have been prevented.
You just cry a lot and just keep the dream alive, because it's something that I have to do.
October 2023. Early investigations revealed the truth. Months later, the first official findings were released by the US Coast Guard, the National Transportation Safety Board, and Canadian investigators. Their conclusions were sobering. The Titan's carbon fiber hull had failed. The sub was never certified by any major safety body. Layers of the carbon fiber may have peeled apart under pressure, what experts call delamination. The evidence was clear. The very design meant to change deep-sea travel had instead become its fatal flaw.